there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this.
I'll look at this one. I can move this more too.
Well, hello, Benjies. Welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. I'm your boy, Johnny Randolph, and I've got a plethora of outstanding co-hosts with me. You can see I'm live in person with this guy right here. This guy, he is a serial entrepreneur. He is part owner of the Geekish Network. Chuck, man, say what's up to the people.
What's up, y'all? What's going on? Yeah, no, we're in the same spot. We actually can, folks. You know, we pretend
we're just related.
We say cousin, but we really mean it. You know, a lot of people say we're cousins. They don't really mean it, but we've always really meant it.
So we're here for the holidays. And my next co-host, she is an actress. She's a writer. She's a director. She is a flat-out superstar. Miss Courtney Scott Wright. Say hello to the people.
Oh, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Courtney.
Hold on. We just heard you.
I know. She was just talking.
Oh, there I am. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay. I was like, you can't hear me? What's going on?
But say hello to the people, man. We need to say hello.
Hello.
And this guy here, you know, he's family too. You know, he is the new from the Ville. You know, he's an educator. He's an influencer. Yo, Ricard, say what's up to the people, man.
Hello, people. I'm ready.
We're ready. And we are the BingeWorthy podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. The premise of our show is that each week we will binge watch a television series, and then we come right here to talk about that series. We will evaluate it using our unique binge-worthy scale, and then we engage in conversation. We talk about plots, we talk about characters, we talk about themes, the full spectrum of that show. And at the end, we will re-rate it. Now, sometimes our illustrious co-hosts can influence us to change our ratings. Sometimes they will influence us to lift it up, and at other times it just drags it all the way down to the flow. Speaking of our unique binge-worthy scale, it is as followed. At a number 5, we call that a full binge out. That means that this property is outstanding. It is dynamic. It is one of those things that you cannot and should not miss. At a number 4, we call that a full meal. A full meal, it is good. It is really good. Not quite a full binge out, but you will definitely enjoy watching it, and you should invest in watching this property. At a number 3, we call that a mini meal. A mini meal, well, it isn't bad. It's just not good either. It's kind of, you know. Courtney, she always calls it a bland TV dinner. And I say without all the Lowry seasoning sprinkled in. It's Thanksgiving. You guys know all about that Lowry seasoning. At a number 2, we call that a snack. Snack, it is something that you just hate watch. You know, it's that time of the year when basketball season is over with, and football season is over with, and it's just boring ass baseball. You know, you might watch it, but it has no nutritional value. It doesn't taste good. You want to get something to eat, but there's nothing around. So you go into the cabinet and you get out an old bag of Cheetos, and you know, you get Cheeto residue all on your hands. So that's what a snack is. And at the final rating is a number 1, and we call that a cringe-worthy. That means this is just some old bullshit. And my guy, you know, he's had a history of recommending some of those. So like, Chuck, why the hell did you recommend that?
Do I? Is that what we're going?
That's what we're going with.
That's how we're getting started.
Can I put a little spin on this? Can I say that 5 instead of just a binge out? It's your grandmama's Thanksgiving meal when she put her whole foot in it. It's like, you know, grandmama and them will kick this meal. Grandmama and them.
Not them young girls, not them 19, 20-year-olds trying to experiment on Thanksgiving. That's not what we having. She better have some of this hanging.
Grandmama
from the
meal.
them grandmama meals.
And or is your friendsgiving? You know, your friends that they ain't got no parents or nothing. They all together at their friend's house. You don't know what they put in their food, like raisins and macaroni and cheese and cranberries and the stuffing and all kinds of stuff. They don't have dressing, they have stuffing.
Yeah, there will be none of that for our Thanksgiving.
So Friendsgiving, I just want to change the top two.
All
So there's grandmama and them's food. You know, grandmama and them. Like, who's in the kitchen? Grandmama and them.
right.
Can I go in the kitchen? Nah, you don't go in that kitchen.
Don't go in the
You
kitchen.
don't go in that kitchen. You stay out of the kitchen. Let them do what they do.
If you don't have a license and experience for that, you do not go into that kitchen. All right, so we're going to start with you, Rakai. Tonight we are reviewing Andover. Then I
Andover.
It's you.
We're going to Maryland.
I didn't had it right. It's Chuck. Chuck is influencing me to say Andover. I don't know.
We're going to Maryland. Okay, cool.
We are reviewing Disney Plus's Andor. I was gonna say Andover again. It's you.
Y'all hear it is. I've been telling him, I said, yo, get the name right, dog.
I don't know. It's you. You bring this out in me. You bring this out in me. I'm going to be doing it as I've talked to you. All right. So beginning 5 years before the events of Rogue One in 2006 and A New Hope in 1977, the series follows an ensemble cast of characters during the time of the Rebel Alliance is forming in opposition to the Galactic Empire. One of these characters is Cassian Andor, a thief who becomes a revolutionary and eventually joins the rebellion. All right, that is the premise for Andor. So we're going to start with you, Rakai. How are you going to rate Andor?
I am going to give Andor, I'm going to give it a delicious 5. It is binge-worthy.
Okay.
It is for anyone who is a true fan of the Star Wars universe. Star Wars universe is vast, especially if you're into the expanded universe or, you know, what they call legends or what have you. There is so much there. This seems like what we have been missing for a long time. Now, I am into the space wizards. So yes, I like my magical powers and my laser swords. I love them. But this was good old, not even James Bond. This was some, you know, a spy movie in space. This was like Jason Bourne in space or something like that. Like, this was pretty cool.
Okay.
So don't make those faces.
So we got a full binge out here. All right, I'm cool. We're gonna go to you, Chuck. How are you going to rate Andover? No, I'm just playing. Andor. I'm just playing. I'm Andor.
Andover was nice. I stayed there once at the Howard Johnson.
Okay. I'm gonna preface this as I'm saying this is probably their best live action property in a long time. The scenery didn't look all plasticky, and they spent a lot of time outside. It looked really good. The story I could deal with, but I just felt like it was talky. There's a lot of talking in this show, and not a lot of action. Like, I think they could have cut like 2 to 4 hours out of it, made it 6 to 8 episodes, and it'd have been perfect. I'm gonna say it's a full meal for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I just think there's like the scenes like then when they were outside planning to take over the garrison, I was like, Jesus, how many more episodes are they gonna be out here planning and arguing with Andor? And why is he here? We don't trust him. Why is he here? They spent like 3 episodes on that.
Okay. So you're giving it a full meal?
Full meal.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've loved it ever since I was a little kid. For me, this series, I don't know. I thought it as grown-up Star Wars. I thought it evolved a lot. Instead of a lot of the high-octane action sequences that we are normally accustomed to, we got a lot of plot. Now, I'm not sure if everybody is going to love that, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the different perspective. And I guess I have to concur with Chuck. It is one of the better live action versions we've seen in a long time on Disney Plus and at the movie theaters, quite honestly. I enjoyed this new direction that Star Wars seems to be going in. I like when they take chances. It's not our typical story, although it is familiar in this universe. We've had Rogue One to it, but it added something different. So I'm very satisfied with it. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's the best Star Wars that I've ever seen, but I am satisfied with what I saw. I'm very full. So I'm going to come in and give it a full meal. It's a solid full meal for me. All right. Miss Courtney Scott Wright, we'll let you take us on home. How are you going to rate Andor?
She was taking notes. She's like,
Well, first of all, I want to preface this by saying I love Rogue One. Like, I know that Chuck hates it. I don't know how you felt about it, Rakai or Randy. I don't know if we've talked about it. I loved Rogue One. I really did. My big question I always ask is, did we need this series? And I was not left with the answer to my question, which should have been yes. I was not left with the yes. I struggle with the series when everybody's dead. You know what I mean? Like, the outcome of people is, do we really need to know like how they got to be the people who they are? Like, why do I care when we're never gonna see them again in the rest of the franchise? I'm just saying. With that said, Andor for me was visually beautiful. I agree with everything Chuck said about it. Did not look plastic. It looked filmatic. It looked like everything that we have not seen thus far. All the other ones, Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, all looked like the generic prequels that Lucas had been he put on us. You know what I mean? That we didn't ask for those either, but still we got them. So that's how they all felt. And this one did not. This one actually felt like they tried. It felt like this was a movie, and the look of it was stunning. The acting was great. My problem with it is I was bored. I was really bored. It, like what Chuck said, it was very talky. It was like Secession in space. And Secession at least has crazy people that are like entertain, you know what I mean? Like there's comedy moments involved. And this was like very serious, but this was like super intense, like intrigue, like everybody's saying, except it didn't have, I needed the Ethan Hunt. I needed the Jason Bourne. And this was like two different movies. Okay. The first 5 episodes were one movie. The second 5 episodes were 2 totally different things. And then you kind of tied it up at the end with the last episode. When episode 6 started, I was like, what's going on? I don't know where we are, who these people are, why he in jail. Like, I was so confused. And I just felt like it was 2 separate entities that were kind of smushed into one. So for me, it was kind of a mini meal. And I'm only giving it a mini meal just because A, it was beautifully stunning, and B, I thought that they did try to tie, like this last episode was a really solid episode. It was really good. But in the other ones, there was just a whole lot of, there were sparse episodes for me. Like Andy Serkis is great, but I still don't know what the hell they were doing in that damn prison. Like, what were they building? It was like Squid Games. Like, it was like Squid Games.
You didn't see the hidden episode at the hidden
scene.
The scene at the very
They're building
end.
a Death Star.
They're building the Death Star.
Oh, is that what they're? Because I sure didn't.
Yeah.
I went through all the credits and then quit.
After all the credits.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah.
All the credits they have
last episode.
They have a last scene, and it shows you that you see those rockets come in as locks to the Death Star.
Yeah, I thought it was Squid Games.
It did feel like Squid Games. I'm like, dang, I never thought of that.
So are you going with
I'm going with mini meal.
Okay, mini meal.
Yeah, because it was a snack before this last episode. It was a snack.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I watched all those damn credits. I was like, these credits taking forever. It's like, forget it.
The last one, they do have something in it.
Yeah,
it's in the mid sequence of the end of the credits.
No, I watched to the end. Well, no, I watched the middle. I watched the middle.
I got it. It had credits after it when I
did it?
saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
They may
it's
have
like the
translation
credits
credits.
roll up and they're about 30, 40 seconds of credits. Then it has a picture of the Death Star and they're putting like the rockets into the Death Star. And then some more credits go and that goes on to the next show.
Oh, well, then I must have blanked because all I saw were credits and credits and credits.
It was there.
Yeah.
Yep, it was there.
Mhm.
All right. So that gives us a total score of 4. So that comes right in at a full meal so far. All right. Okay, we're gonna Courtney, we'll start with you. Let's talk acting. The show is named after the main character, Cassian Andor. But I think this is a ensemble cast. What about you? What do you think? What are your thoughts on the quality of the acting for the show?
I thought everybody's acting was really solid. Excuse me. Diego Luna is like watching paint dry.
Who was he? Who was he? Who was he?
He's
He's
Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Andor. Okay.
He's great at emotion. Like I understand that like the emotional life in his eyes and his face, like he gives good like, angst. But every other word is like watching paint dry. And I just can't function. What are you doing? Can you? It makes me think that it just makes me think that like, and I think that's his style, like every time I see him. And I haven't seen any of I think I saw the very first, his breakout film, which was the one where he was not the coyote. I think that he was the one who was trying to cross the border with his family, with his son. And he was so alive. And I don't know, like you know what I mean? I don't know, but like, I don't even know what more I wanted from him because I think he did with what was asked of him. It's just that his character was so just like perplexed for the better part of the series. Like we start off with the pilot and he's looking for his sister. We never come back to that. That
never
just drops.
did, didn't we? We never did.
That just drops. And then all of a sudden, we have this flashback explaining how he ended up not on his native planet, that he was looking for his sister. Now he's been taken by this white woman, who wanted to save a little like alien child. We can't leave him here, even though he got people. We can't leave him, you know what I mean? I'm gonna rescue him. But white savior. Okay.
Space Angelina Jolie.
Right, enter Angelina Jolie. But he, like I love that actress. You know what I'm saying? Like she was the Auntie Dursley from the Harry Potter. She is in Killing Eve. She's such an incredible actor. Like I can't fault anything she did. Like the writing for me was a little like all over the place. Like I said, 2 different series. But I thought the acting was great. I think Banks did a wonderful job. The creepy people, the stalker who was in love with the blonde girl who like you know what I mean? Like her face is just like this the whole time. Like she's like a goldfish. Like I can't. Yeah, but everybody did a great job.
Okay. All right.
Mon Mothma again was boring but lovely, very charming.
So let's transition over to you, Rakai, real quick.
I don't have anything. I'm trying.
No,
I'm sorry.
I thought this series had a grittier look and feel to it. So what did you think about the design of the show? How the show looked? Were you feeling it? Do you think Star Wars fans, which I know you are, would be feeling this look as well? I know Courtney and Chuck both talked about they enjoyed it, but what were your thoughts about the overall look of this series?
I think the overall look of the series, I agree with what's been said before, is absolutely beautiful. I really did enjoy even the locations that they gave us, gave a lot. And really even so when they're on Ferrix and they're in the city center and they start talking about the daughters of Ferrix, just the way that that was thought out, like whoever put in the thought into that, like even when the people died and then they become a brick and then they're put in a wall, so they're still a part of the city, a part of, like, that is to go that far and thought about, to think about the culture and the customs of that world. brilliant. I do,
Yeah,
however,
that was great.
I loved the acting. I agree with everything Courtney just said. Like, I don't know what it is about Diego Luna that just it's like he
Lord.
he was he
I'm feeling
brooded for
Diego.
12 episodes. He was just brooding for no reason. Like,
Ryan Gosling, baby. He's trying to get the Ryan Gosling spot.
no, he
No,
was
Ryan
even
Gosling
worse.
at least
Like,
he was worse. Like I can't, I don't know what it. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
yeah, no, he was worse than Ryan Gosling. Like, it's just I
Because he pouts his lips differently.
I, I don't know. I don't know what was up with dude. It's just, and it just you're right. He was great at emotion, but it just seemed like his emotion came out of nowhere. He would pop off just like that, just angry, and he's on edge all the time. And okay, we get it. Nobody trusts you because well, dude, look at you. You should not be trusted. Shit.
Chuck, I saw you.
Okay. So one of the great things about our show is that we have live chat, and we have some comments in the chat.
Oh God, they're coming for me.
No, they're not coming for you. The question was asked, does anyone now think that the show title Andor doesn't refer to Cassian himself and instead refers to his mother, Marva Casa Andor, whose post-homage speech sparks the rebellion? Anybody get that interpretation?
That could be it. That could actually be it. Actually.
That could be it. And Space Angelina Jolie, that was probably the biggest spark.
Yeah, she was definitely a better character. Like
I mean, yeah, and
her.
really, the sad thing is, just like Star Wars has a tendency to do, they take their best characters and their best character actors and sideline them. I mean, you between Marva, between Stellan Skarsgård,
I didn't know her name until now.
Andy Serkis. I mean, they barely got enough. They barely got enough screen time.
But I mean, and I don't know, I never even thought about it until we just had the question, because Cassian really didn't do anything to be widely known.
No.
And her speech was really what kind of galvanized the rebellion for them to start, like, moving into action. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a
he
interesting point.
He was just the guy that had a bad problem with spending other people's money. That's what he was. I mean, it was like, you owed everybody their mama money.
I mean, that's kind of Mon Mothma. Like everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Even though Mon Mothma, I will say,
could almost taken him out of this series and been fine.
Yeah. Mon Mothma in the final episode, when she started the argument with her husband in the limo, in the car, that was genius.
Okay. Yeah. So because the name Andor got associated with the rebellion, and it had nothing to do with him.
It had nothing to do with
him. It was her. It was her. He was just the adopted child that was a problem.
I barely remember him in Rogue One.
I'm sorry. He was the one that ended up. Yeah. Well, he ends up helping. He joins with Jyn Erso. So what do you mean? I'm sorry. The rebellion was already kind of
it was already put in place, yes, but they needed something to spark it to actually launch it into the action.
I thought her little speech at the end is what galvanized
her speech was, but it was on Ferrix. Was it broadcast anywhere else?
Yes. So everybody got the rumor is everybody got wind of what happened on Ferris, and people started standing up against the Empire more. Like they galvanized. It was like
that was my interpretation because they killed a bunch of Empire people. I'm imagining that spread throughout the galaxy and other planets.
Yeah.
Because what did Cassian do?
Cassian did nothing.
Yes, he did. He did the heist.
He did the heist on Aldhani.
He did the heist on Aldhani that basically brought.
But they didn't know that was him. Nobody knew that was him.
No, he was the link. They've been looking for his monkey ass. They didn't know he was Aldhani, but he was the link. They've been looking for him.
They were looking for him to find somebody else.
They were looking for him to find.
In the end, but that's because they thought that Luthen was the guy.
Yeah.
But sorry. Why do we think that the name Andor has become synonymous with the rebellion prior to her speech? Why do we what was the question? Like I think I misunderstood the question from the chat.
I don't know. I never thought it was. I mean, besides Rogue One telling us that it was.
The show's title, Andor.
Uh-huh.
They say Andor was a pivotal moment for the rebellion to start off, right? And the question Andor, yeah, because everybody thought Andor's
not a planet.
Cassian. No, it's
but
about
you're saying so the name Andor rings
Andor.
out because you thought it was about Cassian, but it's not about Cassian. It's about the speech that Marva gave.
Her post-mortem.
And I'm not saying it's 100%, but it makes, I don't know, it makes me.
I mean, it's an interesting point, but I don't.
It's an interesting point. I guess we could probably say that, like, on the macro level, probably it would be based on her speech, but on the micro level specifically, it's about him because we're following his story.
The show is about him. Yes, the show is about
we're following his story and how he got to be the man he comes to be on Rogue One.
Yes.
How he joins the rebellion, how he does what he does and continues this fight. So, do you know what I mean? Which ultimately, if you're telling me he was in there building the Death Star for like however many years he was in there, it would make more sense why he was devoted to destroying it. Ultimately, and actually, no, it doesn't, because that's something that never came through. Exactly.
I don't think he even. None of them knew.
Yeah,
there was like we're doing this job, so we don't get electrocuted, and we get the best meal.
And nobody even knew his name was Andor.
Nobody knew his name was Andor.
Yeah, they thought his name was like Cleve or something like that, Cleve or whatever.
When they actually attacked the garrison, his name was Chim. He was never Andor. The only Andor they knew publicly
was Marva.
Yeah,
but who knew about her? Other than she was someone in the Daughter of Ferris.
They knew that she was one of the Daughters of Ferris, which has always been like the social group that's kind of rebellious, and that they're the leaders. They're the leaders of the Ferris city.
And a lot of people came out.
Are we making assumptions?
I feel like we're making assumptions.
Yeah, I am. I'm making assumptions.
Because I mean, if it was said somewhere that people from all over the galaxy heard her speech and knew that she was the catalyst behind what happened on Ferrix, and that was the spark that sparked the rebellion, then I get it.
Well, Luthen was there. A lot of people were there to see the pivotal moment. Like, that was a pivotal moment because Luthen was there. They could broadcast it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though.
He wasn't.
I mean, Luthen was there to kill Cassian.
So
he wasn't there for that.
He broadcasted, though. Like,
he wasn't there for that.
Marva. You can say Marva Andor stood up to the spark.
And I was tripping, like little buddy
here, so I don't want us to go down too much of a rabbit hole.
Little buddy that made the bomb at the end in 12. Like, where did that come from? Like, he just, like, was there an earlier episode?
That's his son. That was the big man's son, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Pax's son. He killed it.
Oh, yeah. Then when they took him out of the shop because he had the radio when they took Bates.
Yeah, and they said hang his father up out in the yard.
Gotcha.
So everybody is seeing.
Okay.
So we don't be playing out here.
I was like, okay, now we just he just got an emo kid just out here building bombs. Huh?
Nah, he was in there building it in the shop.
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
You know?
But just another quick follow-up and we can move on. But don't we think that final episode, that riot in the middle of the streets, is what helped galvanize and kind of promote the rebellion?
I mean, I can agree to that. I can agree to that.
That's what was hoping for. He said, we need that.
Right.
He turned to the senator and he told her, like, we need people in the streets. We need people dying. We hope they slaughter them because it's going to get everybody.
Well, yeah, when he said that the ISB and all that, when they showed up in force, he said, yeah, this is an opportunity. So, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
We need this.
And, yeah, so maybe, otherwise, why are we even making this show about this event?
Yeah.
It's 5 years before the event of episode 1. So if not, why are we even making this show?
Yeah.
That's just my job. All right, let's move on. Chuck, I'm gonna start with you, man. There are no lightsabers. There's no discernible force users in this series. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it. There's a lot of talking, a lot of political maneuvering. Does this work for you? as a Star Wars fan?
It does work for me because I watched the Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars has talking and action mixed together, that makes
But
a
it
lot
has
of sense.
action.
It does have action.
Yeah.
Even episodes that don't have any action, they come back with an action-packed episode right and so I think the episodes suffer from being very long. It's an hour, and it's people like just talking. Like the whole time Andor was in the camp talking about getting ready to prepare for the garrison, I was like, they could cut half of this out. I don't need to hear all of this. I don't care if Vale yelling at one of the other people that are gonna get killed later on. The young kid, he's gonna get killed. I didn't have her conversation with him on how Chim is there for a reason. And I'm glad they said the name Chim, and they told us who Chim was for Andor, Cassian Andor, his adopted father, his black father. they got killed. They got killed. But yeah, I did like the
hanging
fact
out with Angelina Jolie.
no,
Yeah, she got rid of Brad. Just fine.
you all, but I did like the show that it explained before the revolution and how the empire has internal feuding going on. Like they are not well organized, which actually makes me set up. This is how the First Order was birthed after Palpatine disappeared. Because it was like they were fighting each other. What's his name when he was talking to what's her name? The guy that had all 6 districts and she had 2. He was like, the black guy. He was like,
oh yeah, he talked down.
I don't know people's names.
Yeah,
I didn't care enough to learn their names. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just watching.
I did get.
I didn't know Marva's name until she said her name in the little hologram. I know what her name was.
Yeah, I like.
Listen,
He might be a recurring character.
That's Bix. Yeah,
I knew Bix because she's the one that made listen to the dying whale children, which that was jacked up. I mean, how you gonna torture somebody with some dying animal sounds? I'm like, that's just ruthless.
Who was the first person to listen to that and be like, oh, I know what I'm gonna use this for?
Right?
Because it makes you.
When he died, the first
I'm gonna
person to
record
listen to
this.
him
I know
died.
what I'm gonna use
Yeah,
this
will make you go insane. Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
in regards to like, Randy, you said your question about, or no, Chuck, you were talking about how you said that they were like, they had just been talking too much. Sorry, my light keeps falling down. They had been talking too much. And like, for me, it's become this way of being where they cast a lot of people who don't use their faces. Like everybody is just talking like this.
It's like that private soldier that got kicked out the military.
It's
right?
It's like the person who just doesn't. It's just the actors who don't really do anything at all, and they either have a look about them or their eyes are super like they don't blink. You know what I mean? And I'm like, they don't move, their cheeks don't move. Like that was Mon Mothma and her sister out in the woods, whether her hair was tied back or whether her hair was down, and she's walking in like, like clearly wealthy clothing. Like they use the scenery and the clothing to depict and tell a story, as opposed to me. I didn't care about any of these people. I didn't care if they succeeded. I didn't care if they failed.
That's how I felt
about.
I mean, I think that's about the story. So I was going to.
They look constipated all the time. Mon Mothma and her sister look constipated all the time, man. Was that supposed
all
to be?
The time? I agree.
Is that supposed to be wealth?
You
look like you gotta drop.
But it's just like I'm just going to say, but I need to.
I guess the question that I want to ask then is, did we need this story? Because I personally didn't think that we needed Rogue One. Whether I liked it or not doesn't matter. To figure out how the flaw in the Death Star, I didn't feel like we needed that story. Now we take a prequel to that story. Did we need this story to advance the Star Wars narrative?
No.
I'll start with Ricardo, and we'll go to you, Courtney, and we'll go to Chuck. Like, did we need this story?
I felt the same way when I watched Rogue One. I liked Rogue One. It was different for me, and I liked a different story. But for real, I didn't enjoy Rogue One until the last minute and a half. When Darth Vader showed up and showed me the Darth Vader that everyone was afraid of in the original trilogy, that's when I liked Rogue One. I was like, Jen Erso, she was cool, but she's, Cassian Andor and a lot of them. Okay. I mean, hell, I thought Cassian Andor's robot was the coolest person in that first one, and Donnie
Yeah,
Yen's
is he in the next robot?
blind wheels, dude. The blind, you know, Zen Jedi or whatever. Donnie Yen was. I like them.
Right, but was the little red robot in? Because I remember the robot that
No, Cassian
the
Andor
The
had
big
a
robot.
he
I don't
had a
remember the
giant
little red
robot
big
that
one.
was like
yeah, the robot
it
who
was
had
like
an attitude and was
it was
jealous
like an
of Jen
imperial.
Erso.
It was
Yeah.
an imperial robot that had been repurposed.
Reprogrammed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with what's the name? The redhead dude's
The dude
voice.
from Firefly. He
Yeah.
voiced him. What's his
Yeah,
name?
I
I
like
can't think of his name.
I can't think of it right now
Not
either,
important.
but
Alan
Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk, yeah, not
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, he was great.
But not the what you said earlier is like, did we really need this? I don't know. I mean, I don't think we needed Rogue One. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff we didn't need. We didn't need that last trilogy neither.
At
We
all.
did need
At
the last
all.
trilogy.
We
It
did.
just
No, we
wasn't
didn't.
executed
No, we
we
didn't.
did not
What
need
did
the
we
last
learn?
trilogy at all.
What did we learn? We killed
How
Princess
not to
Leia.
make 3
we
movies.
killed Han
Right.
Solo. We killed Luke Skywalker. What did we? All my heroes died. And we
Yeah,
left with
thank
these
you.
drippy ass people that don't
And we
mean
never
anything
got
to
we never got
anybody.
Han Solo, Princess Leia, or Luke Skywalker in the scene together.
No,
They
No,
never
but
came
they were
together,
never in a
never
scene
again.
together.
I think we got poor execution of it. I thought there was still potential for 3 great movies. We got bad movies.
Where?
Yeah, in the room. There was
Where?
potential in the room when somebody pitched, let's do 7, 8, 9.
No,
That's
I
where it
agree.
ended.
Right, it was bad, but I wanted to see 7, 8, 9. I just got bad movies for the 3.
Yes,
The potential left the room when they said, George, we don't want to hear anything you got to say. We're going to do our own thing.
Well, George didn't do that great with the prequels, although they've aged.
Really?
better. I thought
Really?
Here's the thing.
Really?
You know,
The prequels are George W. Bush. And you was like, God,
Agreed.
these are awful. These are awful. They can't make worse Star Wars movies than this. And it's almost like
It's
here
7,
comes
8, 9 or
Donald Trump.
Trump.
It's like, hold my beer. You know
7,
what I'm
8,
saying?
9 or Trump. Absolutely.
Oh God,
Absolutely.
That
And I think we said this
fantastic
point before.
metaphor. It's a fantastic. Here's the thing about 1, 2, and 3. My brother brings up this point and he says that there is an essence that George Lucas brings to his projects, and it's this essence of, like, I don't know if it's like naivete or magic or whatever it is, that he brings the heart to his projects. So even though like one wasn't the greatest, it still gave us Darth Maul. He introduced an amazing villain in Darth Maul. He introduced us to this Jedi Council and Qui-Gon Jinn, and us getting to learn about how Anakin, like the introduction of the dark side. Yeah. And with 2, it's the love story. That I think that was just bad casting with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. It was just a circumstance of bad casting. Episode 3, I actually really like Revenge of the Sith. Return of the Sith. What is it?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And that's what
I
I'm saying.
don't mind that one. Like it doesn't really bother me, Anakin, I have the high ground, will never get old,
Well.
I like 2 and 3. I don't want to see Jar Jar Binks has got to be the worst character. No, there was the whole sequel, so
I think they aged better. That's what I say. I've gone back and watched them recently.
I say this: what George Lucas does, what Spielberg does, is he brings in old Hollywood cinematic wonder into their films.
Yeah,
so, like they have you suspend belief because it feels like a little fantasy movie. It feels like story time. Like you're at a campfire, somebody's going to tell a really good story, and no matter how shitty the story is, you're at a campfire with your s'mores and you're with the people you love, and you're like, "This is great." Yeah, that story was.
And you know what else it has? It has an element of the Wild West winging it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but it's gonna work out, and something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Whereas 7, 8, and 9, they tried to make Poe that character, whereas everybody in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everybody had a little bit of like, I'm gonna do this. You know, everybody had a little bit of like
I can't
joy.
do it.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
think
think the
there's no
problem.
doubt
I
that
think,
7, 8, and
I
9
thought the
was
problem
bad.
with, I
It
think
was
the problem with
legitimate
Poe
joy.
was, Poe was too
we
much
moving away.
Luke
Let's
Skywalker.
Sorry,
finish
we
the
off.
thought.
We all the way off.
Yeah,
we totally off.
Let's go back.
Sorry, we
Yeah,
can
let's
debate
bring it
these
back.
all day
Finish
long.
Wait a
your
minute,
thought, Ricardo, then we gonna
What
bring it
shows
on
are we talking
back.
about again? I thought I
Exactly.
thought Poe was too much Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, where they need to be two separate characters. Like they need to be more Han Solo-ish. He tried to be like two characters at once. It didn't work.
He
All the
needed to
characters.
create a new
Yeah.
archetype.
They were bad movies.
He needed to create a new archetype and new characters.
They
But
were just bad.
going back to you said you're gonna ask me, did I need to be? And
Did
I
we
said,
need,
yes.
we need this?
Did we need this? And I say no. And the reason that I say no, because I do think we needed, not necessarily needed, but I think Rogue One settled well in the franchise because it was pulled right from the series. It was the scene when Princess Leia says, many people lost their lives to bring you this information. This is the story of the people and the information that was brought. That is pulled right from the saga and therefore justifiable. This, no, they did. Okay, they did. We found out what their mission was. They executed their mission, and they fit nicely. And now we move on to Princess Leia. I don't need to know. Okay, it's like, okay, we had C, which was like the equal sign. C is the answer. They gave us B. Did we need to solve for X? I don't think we did. I don't think we needed to go all the way back and find out who he was when he was in the grass or like rolling around, like learning he had toes. I don't
make
care.
my head hurt. What you guys out here doing math? Lord Jesus.
No, but it could be that if they would have called this Star Wars Spark of the Rebellion, versus Andor, we're actually focusing on one character. Because I agree, Diego Luna was not a likable character whatsoever in this show.
He wasn't likable in Rogue One.
Yeah, he wasn't likable then.
I barely remember. Yeah, I barely remember.
I thought, but this made the Spark of the Rebellion cut his character all the way out and let all these other people play out what they did and trying to get the rebellion started. I think it would have been a better story. It'd been like The Crown.
I think Rebels is a much better story, and it's telling the early days of defining.
But here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. So with Rogue One, we said, did we need that story? And the answer is no. Did we need that story? Rogue One reminds me of one of those stories of some kids get trapped in a mine, and this is the story of the 12 firemen who went in and saved all the kids in the mine, saved them that fell in the hole or whatever. And now what we got in Andor is now this is a story of the main hero who went in and saved the kids in the mine. Like for real. If we got excited about Kevin Feige, we got excited that James Gunn took over DCU, EU, which, I mean, the bar couldn't get any lower for them. We already have that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Why are we not utilizing, I mean, we got the man behind Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, Mandalorian. We already have a resident genius at Star Wars. And when it comes time to make movies, like, no, you do the drawing and the cartoon stuff. Let the big boys.
Are we talking about Dave Filoni?
Yes. Like,
why won't they let him do a live action?
Well, I asked this when we did Tales of the Jedi, and some people said they didn't even want him to do a live action, which I thought was an interesting response.
There's got to be people who've never watched Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, those probably are people that never watched.
And I know plenty of people who will tell you up and down they are Star Wars fans and they've only seen the movies.
But and that's the point. I mean, I thought Rebels was a much better series than this was, and it talks about the early days of the rebellion. So why didn't we do something in that universe instead of us revisiting Rogue One?
Because they're not prepared to do that. I think they're trying to avoid.
Because they're trying to just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Make Dave Filoni. You do your thing, Dave. And we do this stuff over here. This live action stuff. This ain't for you.
Well, it's like DC animation versus live action DCU.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like they don't talk. It's like it's like two college fraternities that are like, you know, like frenemies. Like, okay, yeah, you're doing well. We're gonna do this. You know, we're gonna one up them. Okay, it didn't work out so well, but we're gonna try again. Okay,
But if
they're
that's the
doing
case,
great, but
though,
we're not.
one of them always loses. There's one that's clearly a
Yeah.
loser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Clearly.
the problem, I think Andor is a product of this overall problem. Is that sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Can y'all still see me?
Yeah.
I see you fine.
You just fine.
I can't find. Oh, okay. Like I touched my computer and y'all like vanished, and that's why I got confused. I was like, I think I'm gone.
Because
I
we're
don't know if
talking
they
about
can see
space
me.
wizards.
Exactly, space wizards. Oh gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh no. Okay, so going back to the fact that talking about whether or not we need this story, it just feels like I don't know if they understood that we didn't. It just didn't fit. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think
It just didn't fit.
I think one of the biggest problems right now is that Star Wars is, especially from the movie side, has lost its identity. And now they're trying to figure out how can we tell other stories. There's a vast universe. There's more than just the space wizards and the laser swords. But how do we tell those story, and will people even show up for the story?
Now,
This was a good story. It could have been great. Chuck is absolutely right. Instead of 12 episodes, like most of the time they give us like 6. If they gave us like 8 or 9,
Were there
that would have
12?
been perfect. Yeah, it was
there were
12.
12.
12.
Almost an hour for all of them. Anywhere from
Yeah.
47 minutes to an hour.
They could literally.
If anytime there
I don't
needed
even
to
know
be
if
some
I
stuff
don't even
on
know if I saw
Netflix,
12.
if
I know I
anytime there needed
definitely
to
saw
be,
10.
yeah, I needed to be able to watch all these in one sitting because it
Yeah.
make me wait a whole week for talking on the oh my God.
Now, I watched episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in one sitting.
Wow.
And I'm putting them all back to back.
Wow.
And I was
the
like,
amount of
okay,
Starbucks.
that's what made me. That's what makes me think there's a lot of talk. I did it like 2 days ago.
And that was the prison section, right? That
I
was
did
the prison half.
section. I did that, and I did the part where he was actually before he even went to prison, before he left Bix and left Bix alone.
Yeah, that was the first season.
Yeah.
So when they get to the second season in prison, I thought that like when they jumped off the prison ship, whatever it was, and Andy Serkis was like, I can't swim, and how he's like laughing. I think we should have seen him jump, like make a choice first of all, and
stay and die.
Or sure.
Then,
Or
but we got the Hollywood death. We don't know what happened to him.
You don't know what happened to him. Exactly.
He can come back.
So he can come back. He probably still there making a Death Star. My next point is when they jumped off, I thought that was the end. And that was the greatest finale. I was like, oh, this is great. Randy, we gonna review this next week?
Oh, you missed him when he went back home.
Wait. I was like, Randy, we could do Andor. Why don't we do Andor? He was like, it's not done. I said, what you mean it's not done? I said, they jumped off the cliff. He was like, no, they're done. They got 2 more episodes. What you mean they got 2 more episodes? Why they got 2 more episodes? That was a perfect ending. Why we got 2 more episodes?
That is hilarious.
Because it literally was his mother that sparked the rebellion.
I think
Can we talk about the other dude's mother?
Reasonable point.
Yeah.
Not
Can we talk about Norman Bates' mother? Can we talk about Norman Bates' mother?
Man.
Yeah, Marva.
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
No. She's talking about the stalker.
The stalker.
What's her name?
The little lady from Poltergeist.
Yeah.
She looked like the lady from Poltergeist. I know it's not her, but she looked like her.
All right. So we got.
Let's stop there. Let's go. Stop there. Let's
really quick. Let's talk about these. Let's talk about.
Can we talk about her character? What was the point of her? What was the point of his whole like Norman Bates mother issues? What was the point of them? This is an honest answer. Somebody in the chat, if you want to help me. Okay. So my friend Jabby Koué, he always gives me crap like, Courtney, you're too negative. Like you know, like be nicer. And I'm like, yeah, did has earned my niceness.
Yeah, but you're not wrong though.
And I can't even remember her name.
I can't remember her name. I'm like, what's
The
her
thing
name?
is, because it's not important.
Because it's
The thing is,
forgettable.
and really,
They were
if you go
wasting
back to the
film.
whole stalker character, I mean, were they setting him up for something? I mean, he disobeyed orders. You know what I'm saying?
Every
He flew off the
time.
handle. He got whooped and
He got
looked
people
stupid.
killed.
Yeah, and looked stupid. He got demoted, got
Yeah.
fired, got
I didn't
brought
understand.
back to
And then came back to
customer
became a
service job.
stalker. Then he saves her, and I promise you, I would have turned that show off if they would have kissed in that little dark
thing.
closet.
I thought they were too.
I was like, y'all
I thought that's what we were leading
right
to.
here.
She was like,
it's over.
Yeah,
I guess the thing is,
I was like, this show just went on the CW. What the hell had just happened?
and we don't need them because we don't know where they play in the Star Wars universe. Like,
I think they're gonna be in second season too. They're gonna be.
Do we need a second season of Andor?
Do we need?
I need Giancarlo
going to be.
Esposito to come and kill all of them.
I need that to happen. I need that to happen. I need.
And he
him
the
to
big
come
dog of
and
the
kill everybody.
ISB. I need him to come kill everybody.
Because you didn't give me a point. I didn't need to see the resolution of these people or where they're going. I needed to understand the point of them being in the series at all. Like her being just like being opportunistic and trying to make her way up the ladder. We don't see her again. If you're gonna tell me that woman becomes Captain Phasma, then okay, cool. I guess.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I don't think that's the
case.
I don't either.
If you're gonna,
what's
all
the
these
point
characters
of her?
gonna be in season 2, and
if you're gonna give me political intrigue, if this is what this show is about, if you're gonna give me political intrigue, give me some political intrigue writers. Go grab somebody who's writing Jack Ryan for Prime. Go grab somebody who wrote
Mission Impossible,
Without Remorse, the Michael B. Jordan movie. Like, give me somebody who is writing political intrigue with interest, because this.
I don't think this is political intrigue.
But it's but it wants to be.
But I thought that's what it was. I thought we were giving them a different look of Star Wars.
But I don't think it's political intrigue.
Because
from the very beginning, when he killed those two dudes, those two stupid dudes in the street, and I'm like,
Star Wars live action dumbs down everything, where it's kind of like something, but really isn't that. It's just something for people to fill their brains with.
Well, then give me some damn space wizards and laser swords.
Right. If you're not gonna do that, give me Jedi and Force users.
Then give me a Jedi child.
Yeah. Right. If we're not doing that, then what's the point?
You know what I'm saying? Let's just go on. Let's just go on and do movies about the old Republic, and let's get it cracking.
Right.
This is not the Crown. This
you know what I want? You know what
House
I want,
of
guys?
Cards. None of that.
This is exactly. It wants to be House of Cards. You know what I want? I want a Sith series.
Hell yes.
Well, the New Republic, you might get that.
New Republic, we might get that.
And
with the Acolyte?
No. I want a full blown Sith
series. An Old Republic show. They're making an Old Republic.
I don't want like anti-heroes. I want to know
but I want
why
that one
somebody
too, because I need
why
Revan.
somebody is. I want to see a show about the beginning of the Sith. If you want to show me, like, you know what I mean, like, okay, let's talk about the one where we watched like little baby Ahsoka, little baby, or not little baby, like young man Darth
Bane.
No. Who's the old not Grievous, Dooku. You gave us young Dooku. That was so interesting, seeing young Dooku and how he went from being Yoda's apprentice to becoming a Sith Lord, and everything that happened. You're like, he's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
again, though,
I can see it.
Again, though, Courtney, you're right. But I need whoever wrote that stuff about young Dooku, or whoever's writing for Old Republic, I need them writing it, and not George or whoever, you know, because they gave us Anakin and his turn to the dark side. No, I don't need that.
Well, if you're giving me Ahsoka, I want Asajj. I want an Asajj series.
I would like that.
There's a book about her. It doesn't.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, there's a book about that.
I mean, I got the Ahsoka book, and I can get the Asajj book.
They're gonna
tell Asajj has a book.
Asajj has a book.
I understand that.
Asajj's
but
book
I want
is
an
dope.
Asajj series. I want a Sith series. I want to see bad guys.
Asajj, she's not Sith.
She's not Sith. She's just.
But she was
like
in the beginning with Dooku.
She was never a Sith.
She was an apprentice. She was his apprentice.
She was an assassin.
Yeah, because
But he
Palpatine
called her
makes it
his
very
apprentice.
clear. I thought that she's
Yeah.
not Sith.
She's not a Sith. Palpatine
He
said she's not a
calls
Sith.
her his apprentice. He calls her his apprentice.
No, he goes, Dooku said, "Is that your apprentice?" And Dooku said, "No, she's still just an assassin." And he's like, "Then kill her." Yeah.
But before then, that's what he says to Palpatine.
That's what made
That's what he
Asajj
says.
was hot about
Right.
that.
But exactly. And Asajj was hot about that.
Yes.
Before that moment, he calls her his apprentice.
Yes, he does. But that's to him
Yes.
to her. But that doesn't make her Sith.
I understand that. But I want the beginning where she thought she was. I want that when he took
led her
from
down
the
the path to join him.
Yes.
I'm with that.
Yeah,
Show the Dark
yeah,
Sisters and
yeah.
all that. I'm with that.
Yes.
But she's with the Dark Sisters.
The Night Sisters.
They're not
yes.
Sith
Yeah,
either.
the Night
Dark
Sisters.
Sith,
They're not
Sith
Sith
either.
either. They're witches.
No,
They're like
that's
witches.
cool. No,
Witches,
I'm with
yeah.
that though.
We're completely off now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are.
I went
yeah. I think
sideways.
Now we got
And that's
space
all this is
wizards
for.
and space witches. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what we're saying is if we're gonna do Star Wars and it's not going to be high level intrigue, spy type level, give us wizards, give us space wizards,
Give us some
Force
lightsabers.
yeah, give us
If you're-
lightsabers and
You
force
need to
users.
know the story you're telling.
Yeah,
And don't
Instead-
just
instead
switch
of
up
giving us-
halfway through. Like
I'm gonna go with Courtney. Give us half House of Cards, and the other half was what's the Orange is the New Black?
Orange is the New Black.
right. Exactly. So the first 5 was Ocean's 11. Okay, the first 5 was Ocean's 11. You got you got your Brad Pitt character came in, picked up George Clooney. You know what I'm saying? Like, or picked up Matt Damon, brought him to the team, and then they perform a heist. Ocean's 11, and then they become Orange is the New Black or The Wire, since it was all dudes, whichever one you want it to be.
It wasn't
All right, we gotta
right.
wrap this thing on up. So, Courtney, we ended with you last time. How are you going to re-rate Andor?
I'm the same mini meal.
Mini meal. All right, Chuck. What about you? How you gonna rate it?
I think I'm gonna keep it as a full meal.
All right. I think Courtney got me with her point. So I'm gonna bring mine down just one little bit, and I'm gonna put it as a mini meal. All right. So Ricard, bring us on home.
Dude, I'm liable to slide all the way down a mini meal. I swear to God. I swear to God.
You can
On my mama, son. Like, dog, this okay. I like that Star Wars is trying to do something else, and I like where they're going. It just the execution of it wasn't all the way there. It was beautiful. It did have some great actors. Again, like Darth Maul, we didn't get enough time with them. I think I'll be full meal, but it's kind of like when we was talking last week about Wakanda Forever. I'm underneath the 4. We did points. I'm 3 point something. I ain't at a 4, but I guess it's close.
I missed the Wakanda talk.
It's closer to full
the
meal.
scenes. Yeah.
It's closer to full meal than mini meal. So
all right.
Okay.
So we
full
got
meal.
3.5, and we're gonna round that up to a full meal. So we're gonna give Andor a full meal.
Okay.
Oh my mama, son.
But I think everybody with Chuck, Courtney and Chuck stayed the same, and Ricard and I both went down one. So all right.
It
usually happens like that. We usually sync up. It's 2 against and 2 for, but I guess this a little different.
I don't know. Courtney, she had good points. Like, I'm ready to bring out.
She
the
got
Cheetos.
me with her little stuff, so I was like, yeah, that
them
makes
Cheetos. She had props.
I'm like, all right, you right.
She wrote notes. She was in there writing notes.
I was like, all right.
We go back to these points that they made and then blow it up.
Her best point to me was, I don't know none of these people's name, and normally I know everybody's name. I ain't know nobody's name. That's
true.
That's true.
That is
and then
true.
even the child, like I said, when she was like, "Is it even about him?"
Yeah,
It made me think, man, whether it is or not. That question made me think like
named it after him.
Yeah, it's like he ain't that important.
Yeah.
You know what's even worse? I don't know the droid's name.
B.
Usually, I always know the droid's name.
B.
That's it.
BROL or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just
all right.
Listen how B2 emo.
B2 emo.
It can't get no better than that.
It can't.
B2
It
emo.
can't.
All right.
All right.
Kai, you got anything before we head out, sir?
Man, listen, what I gotta email Dave Filoni. He gotta make movies. The Mexican star is important. It's
That
not
doesn't have
about
anything to do with his ethnicity.
no.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with anybody's ethnicity.
Nah,
It has to
listen,
do
look,
with
no, I think Rodney's just saying he
Are the
doesn't know
space
his name.
Mexicans?
He doesn't even know his name. His name's
oh,
Diego.
So
y'all
this
are
is
not.
important.
So the Mexican star is an important name.
no, sir. Oh, you
Yeah.
sorry,
But nobody
hilarious.
knows
You
his
don't know his
name.
name.
Then.
Courtney, you got anything to say before we head out?
Oh man, I am a true Star Wars fan. Do you know the first movie that I remember in the theater my mom took me to see was Return of the Jedi? I promise you, that's the first one. It was my youngest memory watching Luke Skywalker. I swear to you, I don't even know. I think it might have been a rerun because I don't even think I was born yet, or I was like I was like drooling, could not really function on a movie, but they brought it back to the theater and she took me to see it, and I really remember watching that. That was my youngest so I'm diehard. I want them to be good. Okay, I want them to. I'm always rooting for you, but don't just show up. Okay, show up and do better.
All right, cool.
All
It was
right.
my first first memory as a movie too, Star Wars. First thing I ever remember seeing. Chuck, you got anything before we head out?
Nope. You can cover more animation Star Wars. They need to make more of it.
The animation kills it, man.
Kills it.
Tales of the
Kills
Jedi were so good.
So
they
good.
They rushed that project too.
It was still so
They
good.
rushed it.
6 shorts, 15 minutes. That's all we needed. Excellent. The chef's kiss. All right. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to us, the Geekish Network. We are an organization for people of color. We create content, people in front of the camera and behind the camera. So please support us. Shouts out to Digital Click for always keeping us looking good. Shouts out to our new person in the chat. What's his name?
Man of Sand.
Man of Sand. Thank you for joining in and participating.
You had a lot of good points.
Yeah, you brought up a
Yeah.
bunch of me.
Bunch of
I'll sleep on that tonight. So that was a really good point. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
The Death Star scene we really didn't need, but
whatever.
We'll go back and watch it.
It's really quick. Next week we're going to be here. We're doing Wednesday, The Addams Family on Netflix. So we're doing that. So come back and join us. Everybody have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. We'll see you all later. Bye, everybody.
I'll see y'all at 3:00.
Bye.